Chiefs fans, this offseason is getting hectic, and after what happened, it's become even more so. There are rumors of a surprising change in a part of the team that everyone thought was settled, and names like Eric Bieniemy surprised everyone with the information that just came out. In addition, the front office may have to make some difficult decisions that no one expected, and there's even an important defender who may be returning unexpectedly. And the first one is already causing a stir. Let's talk about why Eric Bieniemy's return is perfect for the Chiefs. Alright, Chiefs Kingdom, let's talk about the move everyone's buzzing about. After an up and down season full of weird stretches on offense, stalled drives, shaky run game, and just an overall something's missing vibe, Kansas City is bringing back a familiar face who helped build the dynasty's early identity, Eric Bieniemy. And honestly, this might be exactly what this team needed. With Matt Nagy heading in a different direction, the Chiefs didn't waste time. Andy Reid picked up the phone, Travis Kelce practically started campaigning, and suddenly Bieniemy was back in red and gold. This is the same coordinator who helped Mahomes explode onto the scene and built one of the most feared offenses the NFL had seen in years. Chiefs fans know that era wasn't just fun, it was dominant. Since leaving KC after the 2022 Super Bowl run, Bieniemy's path has been anything but boring. He took over the Commanders' offense during their regime change, then jumped to UCLA to help develop true freshman Dante Moore, who's now Oregon's quarterback. After that, he went back to the NFL with the Bears under Ben Johnson and made the playoffs as the number 2 seed. The dude has lived every version of offense a coach can experience in 4 years. And here's the part Chiefs fans should pay attention to. Bieniemy has always had a soft spot for the run game. He was drafted as a running back, he understands the position at a deeper level, and during his first stint in KC, the ground game was efficient, not just functional. Working under Ben Johnson, a straight-up run game scientist, probably gave him even more wrinkles, more ideas, more ways to make this offense unpredictable again. Because let's be real, having talented running backs doesn't fix anything if the blocking schemes are predictable and the play design is flat. And over the last 2 seasons, that's exactly what it felt like. Flat. No rhythm, no identity, just Mahomes trying to pull magic out of a hat every week. Bieniemy changes that. Now, none of this works unless general manager Brett Veach does his part. KC needs more firepower at running back, and this offseason actually has a ridiculously good group of free agents and draft options. But even the best RBs won't matter if the run game isn't well designed. That's where Bieniemy steps in and why this move has real upside. People are going to bring up concerns. Why didn't it work in Washington? Why did he bounce around after that? But sometimes, getting knocked off your pedestal, going from head coach candidate to fighting your way back, gives coaches a different perspective, a sharper one, a humbling one, and the Chiefs might be getting Bieniemy at his hungriest. From 2018 to 2022, he helped build an offense that teams feared. Bringing that spark back could be exactly what Mahomes, Reid, and this entire locker room need to reset the dynasty and go hunting again. And if Bieniemy's return already shakes things up, the next update hits even harder, because it's about money, tough cuts, and the future of this roster. Alright, let's shift from good news to the reality check nobody in Chiefs Kingdom loves talking about, the salary cap. And this isn't just a tight cap year. Kansas City is sitting at $62.3 million over the cap heading into the new league year. That's not a small leak, that's the Titanic taking on water. For years, the front office had it easy. Patrick Mahomes was on a sweetheart deal, still ascending, still affordable, and the Chiefs could throw money wherever they needed. Want a pass rusher? Sign him. Need a left tackle? Pay him. Dynasty math was simple. Mahomes is cheap, go win right now. But Mahomes is 30, his cap hits are massive, and between aging players, a couple of rough drafts, and years of restructuring contracts to worry about it later, well, later is now. The big question, how do the Chiefs fix this mess without restructuring Mahomes or Chris Jones again? Because doing that would only push the pain down the road, and they've already maxed out that strategy. This offseason is different. Mahomes is coming off an ACL tear, which suddenly makes the concept of building for the long term feel a whole lot more real. You don't want to restructure the franchise QB while he's rehabbing. You don't want to kick more money into future years when the roster is already showing wear and tear. So the front office might have to do something it hasn't done in a long time. Make cuts, big ones. Let's run through the likely moves. Jawan Taylor, recutting him saves $20 million. He hasn't lived up to the contract, and that savings is simply too big to ignore. Mike Dana, that's another $8.9 million freed up. Solid player, but KC needs room more than depth right now. Drew Tranquill, cutting him clears $6 million. Tough move, great locker room guy, but someone has to go. Those 3 cuts alone get Kansas City down to $27.4 million over the cap, which is manageable but still not enough. Enter the controversial option, trading Trent McDuffie. Yep, it hurts just to say it. McDuffie is young, elite, versatile, exactly the type of player you want to keep, but moving him frees $13.6 million and likely brings back a first-round pick. It's the kind of move a team makes only when it truly has no easy path left, and that's where the Chiefs are. If Mahomes were fully healthy, maybe they'd squeeze the cap again and keep the window wide open, but this might be the first offseason in years where Kansas City has to ask, do we take one step back now to sprint forward again later? Because sacrificing 2027 and 2028 flexibility just to patch 2026 would be a long-term disaster. This might be the perfect moment for a subtle reset, not a rebuild, not a panic button, just a strategic breather to stabilize the cap, reload the roster, and protect Mahomes' future. Kansas City can still compete. They still have Reed, they still have Mahomes, but pretending the cap isn't a problem isn't an option anymore. Sometimes the smartest move is accepting that the dynasty needs a tune-up, not a miracle. And if the cap situation already looked rough, the next headline is even louder, and because it's about the one defender Kansas City absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright Chiefs fans, here's the part of the offseason where things get real. With all the chaos from last year, missing the playoffs for the first time in the Mahomes era, watching the dynasty look mortal, Kansas City has one job it cannot screw up again, keeping its top free agents. And the name at the top of that list, without question, is Bryan Cook. Let's set the stage. 2025 wasn't just disappointing, it was a gut punch. The Chiefs usually play until February. They usually show up when it matters. But last year, everything stalled, the team looked off, and suddenly Kansas City had something it never gets, a long offseason. And honestly, that might be the blessing they needed. More time means more evaluation. More time means more adjustments. More time means the front office can't hide behind "we're still playing" excuses. They have a full offseason from start to finish, something they haven't had since Mahomes took over. And that's exactly why they cannot repeat last year's mistake of letting key free agents walk out the door for nothing. They did it once. It hurt. They felt it all season. If they do it again, that's on them. Enter Bryan Cook. Cook didn't just play well, he became one of the best defensive backs in the entire league last season. PFF didn't just grade him highly, he finished as the 4th highest graded safety overall with an 83.5. And this is the crazy part, he was the only safety in the NFL with 80+ grades, both against the pass and the run. That's elite versatility, that's foundational talent. On a defense that struggled, Cook was the silver lining. He was steady, he was reliable, he made plays, and he showed growth at a position where stability matters more than people realize. Losing him would create a massive hole the Chiefs simply don't have the resources to fill right now, especially with the cap situation being what it is. The secondary needs him, the defense needs him, the locker room needs him, and the front office knows it. This offseason is different. Kansas City isn't coming off a Super Bowl parade, they're coming off a wake-up call. That should spark urgency, the healthy kind, the kind that says, we're fixing this now. Keeping Bryan Cook is step one, because while Kansas City looks to bounce back, reload the roster, and get Mahomes healthy and dangerous again, they can't afford to break one of the strongest pieces they already have. Cook is young, ascending, and exactly the type of defender championship teams build around. If the Chiefs are serious about returning to dominance, Cook needs to be in a red jersey next year. No excuses. Man, this offseason is huge for the Chiefs. Bieniemy's return, tough cap decisions, and keeping Bryan Cook. Everything matters now. Who do you think KC should prioritize? Drop your take and hit subscribe so you don't miss any updates.